Greetings, I am Sean Redman, aka the cheesily named Darth Shawn, and we only got one new comic this week, and it was a return back to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Star Wars number 7 is one of my absolute favorite comics that has come out. Going back and looking at Obi-Wan Kenobi, seeing the struggles that he went through early on of facing everything that happened, becoming a hermit, and just this desire to be alone, this desire to die in a lot of ways. Not sure if he wants to be a Jedi, doesn't really want to watch after Luke, doesn't want anything to happen, and just kind of just the pain that he'd gone through and him overcoming a lot of that and moving forward. It was a great comic, and if you haven't checked it out, check it out. So it makes perfect sense that they would want to go back and do more with Kenobi. And that's where we get Star Wars number 15. And this is a good comic. It's not Star Wars 7. It's not 7. It's got a lot of issues with it that I didn't love, or it just didn't hit with me. I don't even want to call them issues, because it's a really good comic. There are things that I loved so much about 7 that this did so differently that it took me out of it at times. First off, the art is really good, but it's really stylized, so much so that I'm like, oh wow, that doesn't even look like the character, or that different things like that. It's very bright. I took a contrast how dark and kind of gloomy the other one was. This is like over the top bright. And it's not bad art, it's fantastic art. It's actually really good art. There's some that absolutely nail, hey, that looks like a perfect hybrid of Ewan McGregor and Alec Guinness. That they've drawn, the in-between phase. Great job getting Obi-Wan Kenobi on certain panels, and other panels it's a little off. Luke doesn't really look like Luke. But as a whole, it just kind of felt not what I necessarily was hoping for from another Obi-Wan comic. It didn't have to be as dark as the other one, but just it felt too bright, too much of a jump. The other thing is sometimes the story was interesting. The story going on is very interesting, but the dialogue isn't always great. There's some cheesiness to it, and maybe that, what they want to do is a little lighthearted, and I can understand that, but it's just the cheesiness that just didn't seem to fit. That being said, while those are my complaints necessarily of it, I still really liked this. In this comic, Obi-Wan Kenobi has now decided, I'm going to watch over Luke and his family, and in doing that, it's, he watches over Luke is racing this little star hopper and gets in an accident, and he sees a lot of Anakin in him. He seems like he really is his father's kid. You can see that, the way he pilots, the way he does things, wow, he is his father's kid. Luke gets in trouble with Uncle Owen, and Obi-Wan tries to help by giving him some parts and things like that. Uncle Owen gets really upset and dumps the parts on Obi-Wan Kenobi and says, don't ever see my son again. Don't ever see Luke again. You stay away from our life. And that's basically the gist of it. There's a lot of really interesting in-between things. One of the things is Obi-Wan continues to always be talking to Qui-Gon. Now, I don't know if Qui-Gon's someone he can physically see or talk to, or that's just how in his hermitness, that's who he just kind of everything, he's writing his journal. I'm writing it to Qui-Gon. And so he's always talking to him, which was very interesting. A lot of the look back and the feeling of now starting to see the potential in Luke, and maybe even the hope that he sees in Luke that we get obviously in episode 5, or episode 4, when he's realizing, wow, this kid actually has potential to be the savior that maybe we thought Anakin was. And you're starting to see that with Kenobi. So we're getting that progression and moving forward. And it's always interesting to see what happened to Kenobi during that time, as rumors are flying around and different things post-Force Awakens. It's interesting to go back and just kind of see, all right, this is who Kenobi was. This is what was going on. This is what's happening. And it's very interesting. And clearly they're not done with it, seeing as it ends with Jabba hiring a familiar large Wookiee to hunt down Obi-Wan Kenobi. In the end, this is not a bad comic. It's an okay comic. I think the bar was just set so high with number 7 that anything maybe felt a little down on it, and that's maybe why I'm more down on it than I probably should be. The art just took me out. The dialogue was a little off at times, but I love seeing Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I want more issues like this, and I'm excited to see what they do with it in the future. So what do you guys think? Did you like this comic? Did you not like it? Let me know in the comments below. As always, like this video, subscribe to the channel. And I am Sean Redman, aka the cheesily named Darth Shawn. And may the Force be with you. Always.